This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hello to you too. We are starting today with some sad news. You may have already heard, but Kirstie Alley actually has died after a brief battle with colon cancer, and it was a shock to all of us. She was 71 years old. Her two children, True and Lily Parker, posted a statement saying, quote, "Their incredible, fierce, and loving mother has passed away after recently discovering her cancer." If you didn't know or you lived under a rock, Kirstie shot to fame in 1987, starring as Rebecca Howe, one of my favorite characters of all time on Cheers. That role as an unlucky in love bar owner won her both an Emmy and a Golden Globe in 1991. Kirstie went on to star alongside John Travolta in the hit movie Look Who's Talking and two subsequent sequels. Kirstie later admitted that she, quote, almost ran off with John, calling him the greatest love of her life. What a great movie. Oh my God. Although it's important to note, she said she remained faithful to her husband at the time, Parker Stevenson. John Travolta posted on Instagram saying, "Kirstie was one of the most special relationships I've ever had. I love you, Kirstie. I know we will see each other again." Cheers co-star Ted Danson told People, quote, "I am so sad and so grateful for all the times she made me laugh. I send my love to her children. As they well know, their mother had a heart of gold. I will miss her." So here's a quick look back at her life and amazing career.
These lips remind you of anything?
Yeah, I think the liver in my freezer's gone bad.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
I'm going to show you how a really gracious winner behaves. Read them and wait for more!
Wouldn't you like to get away?
Kirstie Alley, cheers.
I'd like to thank my husband Parker, the man who has given me the big one for the last 8 years. Plot and intercept course. I started out in feature. I haven't ever really been concerned about what media it is as long as that can, you know, make me a better actor. I was trying to hold it together a little bit. I want to go,
You know, I would have loved that. I care about Kirstie as much as I do anybody.
I hit every goal I wanted to hit. That's been the most successful thing for me.
Wow. So I just want to know your first take when you first heard Kirstie died. She's a birthday twin, January 12th, and I also always wanted to act like her. She's so physical and big. I thought she's just her timing is excellent. What did you guys think when you heard?
Well, I agree. When I was watching that, I'm like, wow, she takes up a ton of space. But I just love that because she's herself and authentic, has this really big personality, but she just seems so genuine. You could see in her interactions that she seemed like a genuine person. I saw the news, and it's like these days you get news alerts on your phone that somebody died. And every time it's someone that, you know, touched me in a way that, you know, I watched their stuff or I idolized them when I was little or looked up to them. It's like, are we getting older or what's happening? And, you know, all these thoughts come in my head. That was one that really kind of shook me this weekend because I was like, man, like she had such a big impact on so many things, like my childhood, watching that movie with my family, Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Too, and all the movies. And so it just really was sad, especially because it was so abrupt.
Yeah, she found out and was sort of passed away with colon cancer. That often kind of can happen. What did you think when you first found out too? I also thought she was younger than 71.
Yeah, well, that was my first thought. Because I text you that.
Oh, but I was agreeing with you.
I know. But I think it's when someone, to Lindsay's point, when someone passes away, that touches both of our generations, meaning ours and our parents, and something that we shared growing up. So watching Cheers with my family, right? And seeing Kirstie Alley. So and Look Who's Talking. And then you just remember that beautiful face that we saw, right? And all of a sudden, 71?
I know.
You're like, you were 71 years old? You think of her like at 42 years old or whatever, and I'm 44 now. So it's like when you see an image, it's kind of stuck in your head and where you were at that time, and it reminds you of like maybe the better times, right? Depending on what kind of life you lived. But it's just something that touches me and my parents together, and then they pass away. It has a lot more impact, and I think maybe for the audience as well.
You're absolutely right. And I also think, for instance, she was really big about weight loss and talking about that on Oprah and stuff when there wasn't a thing to talk about back then. Remember when she went on Oprah and said, I didn't know I had gotten heavy until I I went and found out from the media. She also wrote a book, How to Lose Your Bleep and Regain Your Life. So she really went into that world, the Jenny Craig world, and I think really spoke about it before most women were able to talk about it, which I think was amazing. And I also think the battle with the cancer, I think, is interesting. I just want to let everyone know colon cancer, as I kind of talked about. Do you guys know people that have passed from colon cancer?
I don't.
Not
personally.
colon cancer, but this made me think about, so I have a friend, a close friend, that was diagnosed with cancer recently, and it's she's battling and fighting through actually 2 different people with 2 different types. And I think that it's so important to just surround people with love, because sometimes, like the people in the past that I know that have beat cancer, people are still here for a long time and can celebrate life, but sometimes it can be as short as what Kirstie Alley experienced, and then it's just this devastating thing that you didn't go see them. So I always like encourage people to give people a call, check in, because I would never known, especially with the distance and that COVID brought and how little I get home and to friends that I grew up with. It's important, I think, to just check on people and just make sure that their time here is well spent, because 71 is by all means really young to me, knowing that my parents are approaching that age. You know, it just makes me worry about health and all these different things.
Puts it in perspective.
So it's just really important to make sure you're spending time and know what's important at all times, not just when an emergency pops up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think, you know, not to take it to a different place here, but everyone's always like, go get checked, do the right thing, get your mammogram, get, you know, whatever. Colonoscopy. They need to get our healthcare system in check a little bit, right? Because when we go to do those things in my family, whether it be for our child or my wife for preventative care, it's really expensive, right? Really expensive, even with an insurance. So if you're out of pocket, you don't have insurance.
It's prohibitive.
Right, they got to stop pushing this agenda, which isn't an agenda. It's a good thing to go get checked, but they need to make it affordable so people can get this checked and prevent things like this.
I so appreciate you saying that. I know 2 41-year-olds that have died of colon cancer. Not to end on a bad note, but please check. It is one of those that creeps up on you. Get a colonoscopy. Don't be afraid. Go with a buddy like Jeff and Al are going to do, and it could save your life. Coming up on DBL, the latest on the shakeup at Good Morning America. Oh yeah, we're talking about it. After an affair between 2 anchors goes public, we're breaking down everything that happened. And we didn't forget about you, Georgia. The runoff election is coming up today. What does the future hold with either a Walker or a Warnock win? Write us on the app, on YouTube.
It's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season.
Not sure.
Air Benez says, I'm so sad to hear of Kirstie's passing late last night. What was your favorite Kirstie Alley role? No. Did you watch Cheers a lot?
Yeah,
I did. I'm Cheers.
I did.
And during the pandemic, Brooks and I went back and watched it.
Oh, maybe
she was so funny.
Yeah, she was good.
With Shelley Long, and she'd always be like, she was always so, but big with her physicality.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Quite a distraction. Yeah, but going back to that healthcare thing, it really is, you know, having a family now and all that, and having other people to look after. It's just like, even with insurance, it's sometimes unaffordable. Like to be perfect. I mean, my wife went and got her breast checked and all that for her man. It was a couple $1,000s out of pocket. My son swallowed a penny. We had to take him to the emergency room. A couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, like
that would end many people.
Really?
End them.
Yeah.
End them.
End
you know what
them,
I mean?
yeah.
And when I say a couple thousand, and these are the penny thing we had to do. But the other things are preventative and like getting your colonoscopy, things like that. And it's like, hey, they really push that, right? To do that. But then at the same time, I don't know. It's just.
No, I appreciate you.
I feel like I'm getting taken advantage of in certain points.
I know what you mean, because if you are a government that invests in your people, like Europe,
I read the
you
story,
think they
but I
want
really
to pay for a colonoscopy yearly, a pap smear, a mammogram, because you want the health of your citizenry to do well. Instead, you're prohibiting a vast amount of people from getting it checked.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, we'll get you in here, get your teeth clean for free twice a year. Hey, the second one I found a little something in there, probably just gonna have to give you a cavity.
Right, and it's
probably
like
just gonna have to get that cavity out of there.
$1,000.
You know, it's like, do I have a cavity or what's happening in there?
And why do you think people don't trust the system? People, if you like break your arm in England, you can go get it done, and you leave.
And how many people choose not to get an ambulance or choose not to do preventative measures because of the cost?
How many lives have been lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like.
Yas, were you guys acting over there?
That was good.
Total
Good
acting job. Look, the computers aren't even on. They're not even on.
Wow.
Dude, I thought I never saw Ebony. I never saw Ebony not smile. So when she was like that, I'm like, oh, she's acting over there. It was a good job. Though. It was a good job.
Was she using 4 fingers or 2?
She did Courtney. She did Courtney. It's
I'm sorry.
all a lie.
I had to call it out.
It's all a lie. All right, welcome back. Good job, Ebony. All eyes are on Georgia today as voters head to the polls for the runoff election. Incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock is taking on Republican football star Herschel Walker. Polls show the election is incredibly close, with Warnock having a very slight lead. But I want to let you know that this election has seen record voter turnout. More than 2.5 million early votes have been cast, with another 2 million votes expected today. A lot is on the line in this election, with Democrats currently controlling only 50 votes in the Senate. So that one would put them over to be a majority. What do you think will happen today? What do you think it means if Warnock or Walker win? That's a lot of W's. Oh. I'm going to whip it over to you and ask you, tell me what you see for each, a Warnock win and a Walker win.
Well, I don't see a Walker win.
Fair.
You know, I think that Warnock is going to win, but I also think that a lot of people in the midterms may have been voting down ballot. So Brian Kemp is a very popular governor, and so if you're a Republican and you're going down the ballot, then you might just be like, okay, I'm going to go for. Even though the Walker stories were hard to miss, right? So the egregious stories anyway. But I just think at this point they've rallied up so many people who maybe skipped the vote or are not just having to go down a whole ballot and just have to decide on one thing, and they're just saying like, okay, who's not ridiculous? Who is ridiculous? I know there's a lot of policies that maybe Raphael Warnock not going to put in place if you're a Republican, but you have to think about leadership and morals. And at this point, you know, Walker has just been a disgrace. I'm sorry. He's been embarrassing to everybody.
You leave no crumbs. What do you feel about it?
What do you feel about it?
Well, I will say this, and I wanted to ask you also. I find the Walker candidacy insulting, especially to the black community, because it reeks to me of tokenism. Of we're going to put a black Republican on. It doesn't matter if he knows what a pronoun is. He says trees are bad. He doesn't know what's up, what's down. I mean, he's legitimately not educated to me enough to represent as a senator. And he's always surrounded by 2 white senators, like Weekend to Bernie's style. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they're always holding him up. And it just
was Bernie black?
No, but I mean, they always have people
trying
like
to lighten it up over here a little bit.
To me, it feels like
it didn't land.
I thought my Weekend at Bernie's would land. It did.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a bit insulting, and I wanted to know if you had a take on that.
Well, I want to hear what Jeff has to say, but quickly, I think that
no, you don't.
I do. No, I do. What is something?
No, I have nothing. I'm kind of like Bernie. I have nothing really great to say. Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting because to be in Georgia and have 2 black men running is a big deal, and I think we have to leave space for people just to have different views. And so maybe Raphael, Warnock, and Walker are totally different people. And I believe Walker's grown enough as a grown man to make a decision to run on the Republican ticket with 2 white guys around him, and that could just be a choice, and not that he's some type of puppet. He could actually be choosing to do this and thinks what he's saying is smart. But the fact that it's gotten this far and you've called people out and then had those same allegations lobbied against you is just kind of ridiculous. It's like we have to start somewhere with some morals and some character in politics again.
Right,
and I think that he's lacking both of those things, black, white, brown, or yellow.
Exactly. And I do have to say that for all the people saying that he pressured them to get an abortion, the evangelical Christians really came out in favor of him instead of Warnock, who's a preacher at Martin Luther King's old church. So it doesn't follow the right moral lines, in my opinion. Good take, Bernie. Coming up on DBL, a pair of GMA co-hosts get taken off the air after their affair goes public. Are workplace romances ever okay? Write us in on YouTube.
The bill, as amended, has passed.
The Respect for Marriage Act is one step closer to being signed into law. The legislation passed the Senate on November 29th. It now sits with the House, where it's expected to pass and then be signed into law by President Joe Biden. The bill grants some protections for same-sex marriages.
Google Trends data shows people want to know if this bill would make same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states. So let's verify.
Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, the Defense of Marriage Act, Obergefell v. Hodges, and Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. In 2015, the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage with their ruling in the landmark case Obergefell v. Hodges. In that decision, the court ruled that heterosexual and same-sex couples had equal rights to marriage in all 50 states under the 14th Amendment.
The court also said bans on same-sex marriages are unconstitutional.
Earlier this year, when the Supreme Court ruled on Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, which overturned Roe v. Wade, other constitutional rights guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, such as same-sex marriage, were called into question. If passed, the Respect for Marriage Act would provide some safeguards for same-sex marriages. For example, the bill would repeal the Defense of Marriage Act, which currently limits the definition of marriage to those between a man and a woman. It would ensure that the federal government recognizes marriage regardless of race, ethnicity, or sex, and it would also require all states to recognize all marriages conducted legally in other states. What the bill doesn't do, however, is require all 50 states to legalize same-sex marriage, or prohibit states from taking steps to ban or restrict same-sex marriage if that right, currently protected by the Supreme Court decision Obergefell v. Hodges, were ruled unconstitutional. So we can verify, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not legalize same-sex marriage in all 50 states.
With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back. We're going to dive into a story. It's been getting a lot of attention lately. It has to do with the host of the third hour of GMA. Have you heard of it? TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. They've been taken off the air after news of their romantic relationship surfaced. Now, according to sources, the head of ABC said while the two didn't violate any company policy, they were being removed while the network figures out how to handle it all. Amy has been married to actor Andrew Shue, Melrose Place, I believe, since 2010, but the two are reportedly planning now to divorce. There are also reports she and Andrew separated this summer.
Surprise.
Wow. TJ has also been married to his wife since 2010. Page Six reported the two have been separated for 6 months, but his wife was still blindsided by the affair.
Ironic timing, since months ago was about the summer.
It seems like there's something there.
Might be something brewing. I don't know what's going on here. To be perfectly honest, I don't know who these two people are, even though I know it's the third hour. It's a big show. I know Amy, right? Is that Amy? Because Robin Roberts told her to get that breast exam. Remember? And she did it for the show. And then she found out she actually had breast cancer.
She actually did.
Speaking of preventable measures. Anyways, combining the two. So perfect. Okay, so again, going back to, I don't really know who they are. Why am I so interested in what's happening? Is it the scandal? Am I into the scandal? Am I reading the Inquirer while I'm buying my groceries?
You know when you're on your, well, for me, I'm so corny. I'm on my phone and I'm like, I need to get to a computer so I can see all the pictures and get the details full screen. Like, I was so obsessed with this story this weekend, oh my God, what's going on? Because I think one part of me is okay, the British media is we're about to get you back for the way that you guys have been criticizing us from overseas for this much time on the way we deal with the royal family and Meghan Markle and all this stuff. And I feel like they're okay, well, GMA is a really big show for you guys. Let's embarrass y'all too. Because otherwise, what's the end game of following them around? If you don't know who they are, Jeff, the British people surely don't really know who these people are.
But is it embarrassing? Are these two adults that are... listen, I can take either side of the story, so if you're with it, I'll be against it. No, but I'm just saying, if you're... these are two consenting adults. It seems like, from what I saw, this is my conclusion, they have been broken up with their spouses 6 months earlier, because there's pictures of them hugging at the airport, hands all over each other, doing all this stuff, so it seemed like they almost wanted to get caught at some point. That's kind of just my scandal take.
You are so speaking your audience. So here we have Brandon Allen says, I love this affair.
I love this affair. I love when people cheat on their spouses.
Listen, Asp said, it doesn't make any difference. I don't care if they were married. Why? Neither one of those hosts should have been punished simply because they're with each other for whatever reason, much to your point, consenting adults. I say, keep them on the air. The ratings would have spiked. We all want to see the chemistry. I didn't know who any of these TJ. Now I'm all this. I want to know everything. Why would you take them off the air?
Because what happened in the last 2-3 years with this office politics, taking advantage or not taking advantage, you're not allowed to date your coworkers. This whole 2 years and 3 years have kind of just muddied the waters on what we can and can't do with anything. Can I date my co-host? Can I not? Can I drink?
But don't you think I agree with you, but they're on the same level. They're both anchors. Right. No one's an abuse of power in this situation.
I know, but it's still office politics. You kind of weren't allowed to do that the last couple of years, even though that's where our parents probably met each other in their office. But I think in the statement,
I think that the ABC was really we don't want the story to just be these people. I think that the news is supposed to always be the stories, and you're providing a platform as the storyteller versus you are the story, and so people are just watching for you. They kind of wanted to divert attention. It doesn't look like they know know exactly what to do right now. They're kind of like, okay, we're going to be still,
right,
and then see how to move forward. I can't imagine them losing their job. There's been plenty of examples of co-hosts getting together and staying on air. I think I'm not going to name names,
right?
But everybody
I just think they've missed a huge. It's like watching the morning show in real life. Like, this would be fascinating, and I think the ratings would do well. And I think taking them off is a mistake.
I feel like they have to hold hands forever. As soon as they stop holding hands, they're off the air.
They're gone. We'll be right back. I'm so into it.
Be honest, when you're packing for a trip, how often do you do the wallets, keys, cell phone, tickets check? Verify viewer Angel texted us to ask whether that check needs to include ensuring you have the right ID, or more specifically, a real ID. So Angel, let's verify. Do you currently need a real ID to fly in the US? Our sources are the Department of Homeland Security and the DMVs in California, Texas, and North Carolina. In 2005, Congress passed a law that set a new federal standard for states to take when verifying a person's identity to issue an ID. Our DMV sources say these real IDs are signified by a star in the top right corner. The law originally required people to have a real ID by 2008 if they wanted to board an airplane or enter secure federal facilities, like a courthouse or military base. But states asked for several extensions, and the deadline was pushed back a number of times. As of 2022, 17 years after the law was passed, DHS estimated less than half of state or territory-issued IDs are compliant, meaning more than 100 million people don't have a real ID. But now, they'll get plenty of extra time to upgrade. The federal government delayed plans to start enforcing the Real ID law until May 7th, 2025. So, no, you don't currently need a real ID to fly, but you will in about 2.5 years. In addition to a real ID, you can use a passport or some other federally issued photo ID in 2025. The changes will continue to exempt children under 18 from needing an ID, and you'll still need a passport if you're traveling internationally. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
This is the CDC's map showing the activity level for the flu. You can see North Carolina is listed as very high, while South Carolina is in the highest activity bracket of all. And while many people are taking medicine to treat the symptoms, does soup really help you feel better when you're sick? Let's verify. Our source is Dr. Neha Vyas with the Cleveland Clinic and Penn Medicine. Dr. Vyas says the most important thing when fighting any sickness is hydration and liquids.
Drink lots of fluids. Non-caffeinated beverages are the best.
Penn Medicine also agrees that mama knows best, and they recommend consuming that soup because not only does it hydrate, but the sodium in the soup can help to ease pain from a sore throat, while the heat of the broth will work to relieve a stuffy nose and sinus pressure. Chicken noodle soup is commonly mentioned as a home remedy because of the vitamins and minerals. However, if you're not a fan, Dr. Vyas says any soup will do.
Whatever kind of broth you like, or whatever kind of soups you enjoy, whether it be chicken soup, lentil soup, or any sort of miso soup, anything and everything that is water-based that you can get in is quite helpful.
So we can verify that yes, soup can make you feel better when you're sick. Of course, soup can't cure a respiratory virus, but lots of rest and hydration will help. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brack.
Welcome back. We've got some great products for our friends at Morning Save just in time for the holidays. You're welcome. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hi, Tori, and hey, DBL Nation. First up, we've got the Adrian Vittadini 3-piece hard side spinner luggage set. So this deal includes one 21-inch carry-on luggage that you can see right here, one 25-inch spinner luggage, and one 29-inch spinner luggage. Normally, are you ready, Tori?
No, I'm nervous.
It's $1,160 for this set. We've got it for $139.99 $299, saving you 88%. Our next product is the 2-pack Secure Bright Flexible LED work light with a rechargeable battery. So this deal includes 2 rechargeable work lights that feature a built-in battery and a USB port that can be used as a power bank. So each light, check this out, has got 2 strong magnets on the bottom and a hook and clip on the back to free up your hands for whatever you are working on. So normally these are $33 each, but we've got 2 for just $19.99, which is saving 70%. So our next product smells so lovely. It's the Cher Eau de Couture Parfum and Atomizer set. So this deal includes 1 parfum and 1 atomizer, and this is an ideal everyday perfume. So normally the set is $104, but we've got it for just $24.99, which is saving up to 76%.
You and I love a good scent, don't we?
Oh yeah. And then last but not least today, we've got the 2-pack Idea Play wireless portable charger. So this deal includes 2 chargers with charging cables available in 3 color sets. We've got leopard, blue, and black. Normally they're $100, but guess what? For 2, we've got it for $39.99, saving 60%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code right on screen. It'll take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. We've got a big shout out to Miss Lindsay, who celebrated her birthday.
Yes!
Lindsay, you celebrate so well. Tell us all about it.
I take a party pretty seriously.
You do?
No, but actually,
So
Colin was
envious.
like, let's celebrate your birthday. And I said no 3 times.
Look at this.
What's
And then
happening?
Okay, so we ended up going to Brooklyn Chop House. We had,
Look at her.
it was like 25 people. We had dinner. Mary J. Blige gifted us bottles for everybody of her wine, Sun Goddess wine. So I handed those out at the party, and everybody thought I was super cool and got super excited about that. We worked with Dream Hospitality Group and went out to like an actual party. Our friends at Blue Street Auto gave us a Rolls Royce for 2 days. We had a real weekend. And so even Michael Dean, our producer, was like, were you in Vegas or New York? I was like,
you had things like
New York.
exploding.
Out of the cake? Oh yeah, they brought out the cake and sparklers. So this is the Colin really, like I said, I didn't want to celebrate. I was like, let's just chill because Christmas, it's gonna be annoying. And he's like, dude, you had a year. You need to celebrate and like let's do this. And so it was a lot to throw together in 2 weeks, but we did it. So we had a good time. And you gotta celebrate life. What else do you gotta do?
Get after it.
Yeah.
I got my wife a sweat outfit for her birthday. Good job, Colin.
I will take a sweatsuit.
Happy birthday.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mary J. Blige, unbelievable.